I have to admit that when you and Kiefer started getting serious, my wife and I became a little concerned. You know, we thought that Kiefer was too young. You know, that he had too many things to do to have such intense feelings for a girl. But we came to realize what an extraordinarily mature and accomplished young man we had raised. And Kiefer was handling it all. Studies, sports, and his relationship with you. But you broke his heart when you started taking up with Ethan Lovett, the man who beat you. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I know your mother has been pressuring you to say that it was Kiefer who was hitting you. But sometimes it's hard to stand up and do the right thing, especially when you have a parent who's telling you something completely different.
My mom didn't pressure me.
All the evidence after your first attack pointed to Ethan, and that same night, you and Ethan had a very public altercation, and he even manhandled you. Maybe Kiefer found out.
No, it wasn't like that.
After your second attack, you called Kiefer for help, and he got into his car. He was probably furious. I know Kiefer, he's probably started speeding, and that's what made him drive off the road. But he got out of the car, Christina. He kept walking to get to you. And that's when your mother hit him with her car.
Mr. Bauer, you've got it all...
Christina, I understand. I understand your impulse to defend your mother. Of course. But you know who really needs your defending right now? It's the boy who can't speak for himself anymore. Kiefer. He used to call you Kay, right? I know my son would want his Kay to stand up for him right now.
I don't like saying bad things about Kiefer. I loved him. I really did. But I'm not lying. Ethan never hit me. It was always Kiefer.
It doesn't make sense, my dear. And why would you stay with the boy who was hurting you? I know what's going on. Kay, I understand. You're making up stories because your mother is pressuring you to do that, but I don't hold it against you. As a matter of fact, I want you, I need you to please come to Kiefer's memorial.
I wasn't sure I'd be welcome.
Are you kidding? I want you to stay with the family.
What are you doing here? You are not allowed to speak to my kid. I told you that.
Jason, aren't you even a little afraid I'm gonna blow it?
Honestly, you're the best liar I've ever seen.
Thanks.
Are you forgetting your secret?
I guess. What secret?
Well, you're able to sell a lie because in the moment you've convinced yourself that it's true. And that's all you got to do now. You just have to believe that Sonny came in to save you and Jocelyn.
Yeah, I know, but I'm afraid Claire Walsh is gonna see right through me and she's gonna rip my story to shreds.
Claire Walsh is no match for you.
I don't know, Jason. She's good. Look how she used Johnny to make Sonny go off in court. I don't want to be the one who ruins everything.
You're not going to be. I've seen you stand up to worse than this. Come on, Carly. I know you can do it.
All right, will you do me a favor? Just go hang out in your room for a minute while I talk to Mr. Bauer in private.
Okay. You were wrong about a lot of things. But one thing you were right about is that I did love him. And I'm really sorry he's gone.
I understand that you're grief-stricken. And my heart does go out to you and your wife, but that does not give you the right to walk into the house of a fragile and a traumatized young woman and abuse her some more.
Your daughter is a pathological liar, and you're nothing more than a child killer. You make quite a nice little matched set. My son is dead because your daughter lied and then you ran him down with your car. And if you think that you're just gonna walk away from this without consequence, well, that's not gonna happen. I can promise you that.
have a surprise.
What happened?
Clara pulled the offer. Looks like Abby can't replace Sonny after all.
Well, I'm glad because I wasn't looking forward to spending the next 10 years visiting you in prison.
I know that I gave myself up without talking to you, and I was wrong, and I'm sorry.
Maybe I'm sorry. What did he say to you?
He's got it all backwards. He thinks that Ethan was the one who was hitting me, and I lied and said it was Kiefer because you and Luke are friends.
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. Did he threaten you in any way?
No, he was actually nice, considering he gave me this journal, and Kiefer's journal, and told me that I could go to the memorial service. I can't get used to saying those words, me and Kiefer's dad. And it's because of me, because I lied in the first place.
What Kiefer did was wrong. You weren't wrong, Kiefer was wrong. He beat you senseless twice. That is the inexcusable fact. And honey, the Bowers are going to have to face that. And yes, it will be brutal because not only do they have to deal with the fact that their teenage son is dead, but they have to deal with the fact that he was deeply disturbed. But they don't have the right to come over here and beat you up again. You promised me you remember that.
You have an apology coming to you because I basically accused you of not caring about me.
No, I know that you were just reacting to the circumstances. I want you to know that I love you so much.
And I love you so much more. What?
Are you planning a jailbreak?
I wasn't gonna spend the next 10 years of my life not seeing you.
Who do you think you are, Mighty Mouse?
Oh, shut up. It's really hard sometimes. You know, I have all these conflicting feelings, like how stupid I was and how I caused all this. But at the same time, it's like, I know Kiefer's wrong for hitting me. I mean, I knew it at the time.
Honey, why did you go back to him after he did that? Why didn't you tell somebody?
Well, I loved him. I mean, it wasn't all bad. You know, we had a lot of fun together, and he was really into me, and I liked that. And when things got complicated with Dad, I could always talk to him, and he'd understand. And I was really the one who messed everything up.
You had no way of knowing how damaged he was. You had no context for this. Yeah, you made mistakes, but none of them merited what he did to you. None of them. So you can miss him and you can grieve him, but you cannot make excuses for what he did to you. And you need to hear this, my love, because there was no excuse.
Mr. Bauer wants you to pay for Kiefer's death.
I know.
I couldn't take it if you went to prison.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to prison, okay? Mac's on it. I know you love him, and you can count on him. It's going to be fine.
Had called my son Kiefer to ask for help. Kiefer was on his way to Christina's house when he lost control of the SUV he was driving and ran it off the road. The damage to the car made it undrivable, and Kiefer continued on foot. Meanwhile, Alexis Davis arrived home to find that her daughter had been beaten, and according to her statement, she then helped Christina into her car and made her way towards the hospital. She saw Kiefer on the road.
What do you want?
I'm looking for Michael.
Michael isn't here. He hasn't been here for weeks. You know that.
You and Sonny pulled the bait and switch. Now Ronnie's running around Sonny's Island with a subpoena he can't serve because you guys moved Michael. You probably stashed him away somewhere around here. So, if you want to, feel free to call your lawyer. Go ahead.